You're so close.
Can you feel it?
Do you believe it?
That moment you've been waiting for, working for.
Lines scribbled and miles biked.
Equations balanced and essays typed.
Laundry and dishes done. Eventually, you questioned.
You answered.
Traversing an endless sea of coffee cups and Scantron bubbles.
Marking a quantum of study hours that before you thought was purely theoretical.
After all that, now you're about to graduate. Do you remember your first day? What it was like starting out? You did not know what you were getting into. But you said your goodbyes, you came ready for anything, and created a space for yourself. Amid new surroundings, new people,
New ways of thinking.
of seeing,
Of being.
You buckled down, made friends, laid in the sun next to oversized eggheads. You circumscribed campus on double-decker buses.
And along the way, found out what personal growth is.
At times you had doubts, maybe tempted to quit.
but with each struggle, you grew stronger.
With each setback, you grew more determined.
With each success, you grew confident.
Then came the ultimate test.
The coronavirus turned everything upside down and remote.
And yet, Aggies did what Aggies do in tough situations.
We persevere.
We look for solutions.
We take care of one another.
This is your world now. It's changed a lot in the time that you've been here. How will you change it?
How will you apply what you've learned here, out there?
Congratulations, class of 2021. You have so much ahead of you.
This is just the beginning of your journey.
Go forth,
Grow forth.
wherever life takes you, or wherever you take life.
May you find yourself always outgrowing expectations.
Welcome to Commencement celebrations at UC Davis. We are happy you are all able to join us. We should take a moment to acknowledge the land on which we are gathered. For thousands of years, this land has been the home of Patwin people. Today, there are 3 federally recognized Patwin tribes: Catchell-Dehe Band of Wintoon Indians of the Calusa Indian Community, Quetzal-Dehe Wintoon Nation, and Yocha-Dehe Wintoon Nation. The Patwin people have remained committed to the stewardship of this land over many centuries. It has been cherished and protected as elders have instructed the young through generations. We are honored and grateful to be here today on their traditional lands. Joining us today is Chancellor May, Provost Krogan, and various campus leadership. Thank you for joining us on this occasion. Graduates, families, and friends online watching from afar, we will now begin the processional. Go Ags!
Javier Garcia, PhD in Biochemistry, Molecular, Cellular, and Developmental Biology. Advised by Professor Angie Gelly. Tucker Murray, PhD in Materials Science and Engineering. Advised by Professor Adam Mule. Evelyn Trin, Master of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering. Michelle Williams George, EDD, in Educational Leadership, Candel. Andy Viet Nguyen, PhD in Horticulture and Agronomy, advised by Professor M. Andrew Walker. Christopher Plambeck, PhD in Biochemistry, Molecular, Cellular, and Developmental Biology, advised by Professor Elva Diaz. Emily Emily Moreno, Master of Science in Biomedical Engineering. Jeff Tang, Master of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering. Tagwin John, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Greg Stephen Redmond, Master of Arts in German. Isabel Watson, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Jackson Robert Badger, PhD in Chemistry, advised by Professor Valentin Taufor. Mackenzie Batali, PhD in Food Science, advised by Professor William Ristenpart and Professor Jean-Xavier Guinard. Jeremy Lin, Master of Science in Computer Science. Dira Alim Anasiobi, PhD in Molecular, Cellular, and Integrative Physiology, advised by Professor Donald Burrs and Professor Julie Bassett. Annalicia Lopez, Master of Arts in Education. James Sarmento, PhD in Native American Studies, advised by Professor Beth Rose Middleton and Professor Justin Spence. Britta Heiss, PhD in Microbiology, advised by Professor David A. Mills. Arlie Lemkuhler, PhD in Agricultural and Environmental Chemistry, advised by Professor Allison E. Mitchell.
Rachel Nez.
Wendy Jackson, PhD in Epidemiology, advised by Professor Minashi Chiguri and Professor Wutrina Smith. Mohammed Sada Jawara, Master of Health Science in Physician Assistant Studies. Joseph Langowski, Master of Science in Nursing Science and Healthcare Leadership, Family Nurse Practitioner. Joshua Sumter, PhD in Mathematics, advised by Professor Alexander Soshnikoff. Q Young Lee, PhD in Epidemiology, advised by Professor Nicola Pusterla and Professor Beatriz Martinez Lopez. Amanda Jacqueline Grace Sinrod, Master of Science in Food Science. Andrew Mim, Master of Science in Viticulture and Enology. Patricia Lazicki, PhD in Soils and Biogeochemistry, advised by Professor Daniel Geiseller. Tagreed Mazi, PhD in Nutritional Biology, advised by Professor Valentina Medici. Pedro Alejandro Triana Garcia, PhD in Integrative Pathobiology, advised by Professor Sui J. Ta. Jennifer Mataban Yanas Babas, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Ryan Hutchings, PhD in Psychology, advised by Professor Jeffrey Sherman. Viviana Garcia, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Selena Wrightson, Master of Arts in Art History. Brianna Tamar Aguilar, Master of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering. Reagan Price, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Summer Johansson, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry, advised by Professor Kyle N. Crabtree. Zachary Buchanan, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry, advised by Professor Kyle Crabtree. Jujia Zai, Master of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering. Bailey Wasley, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Dylan Shattuck, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering. Dhruvatara Bogashetty, Master of Science in Computer Science. Amy Becker, PhD in Biomedical Engineering, advised by Professor John Boone. Rebecca Belisle, Master of Arts in Education. Dave Scott, Master of Science in Viticulture and Enology. Jillian Plushkell, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Nisha Jariwala, Master of Health Science in Physician Assistant Studies. Luis Cruz Llamas, Master of Arts in Education. Brian Harvey, PhD in Mathematics, advised by Professor Adam Jacob. Marisol Miranda, Master of Science in Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. Xin-Lin Shuai, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering. Ruth Lee, Master of Science in Biostatistics. Olivia Marie Hunt, Master of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering. Maddie Hughes, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Judy Hong, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Jieu Ding Featherstone, PhD in Communication. Advised by Professor Jingwen Zhang. Chiaosa Sun, PhD in Communication. Advised by Professor Kuiwa Cindy Shan. Caitlin Jarvis, PhD in Applied Mathematics. Advised by Professor Sam Walcott. Leah Byers, Master of Arts in Education. Emma Slack, Master of Arts in Education. Alicia Herrera, EDD in Educational Leadership, Candel, advised by Professor Elizabeth Montano. Heather Ballinger, EDD in Educational Leadership, Candel. Lizette Navarette, EDD in Educational Leadership, Candel, advised by Professor Michael Kurlander. Yaoqi Yang, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering. Alicia Allery, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering. Daniel Gruber, PhD in Chemistry, advised by Professor Matthew P. Augustine. Pei-Xing Tong, PhD in Agricultural and Environmental Chemistry, advised by Professor Gong Sun. Ye Ma, PhD in Biological Systems Engineering, advised by Professor Gang Sun. Sydney Jean Holmes, Master of Public Health. Ellie Hassani, Master of Arts in Education. Mitchell Iwahiro, Master of Science in Community Development. Laura Meinzen-Dick, PhD in Agricultural and Resource Economics, advised by Professor Armin Rezai and Professor Michael Carter. Carmen Valdivia Ponce, PhD in Spanish, advised by Professors Zoila Mendoza and Michael Izara, and Professor Robert Irwin. Marissa Victoria Taub, Master of Science in Biomedical Engineering. Gina Madalena, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Hector Inda Diaz, PhD in Atmospheric Science, advised by Professor Travis O'Brien. Jinwook Roh, PhD in Energy Systems, advised by Professor Alyssa Kendall. Jocelyn Reyes Valenzuela, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Shifu Wu, Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical and Computer Engineering, advised by Professor Bevan M. Bass. Leonie Avendano, Master of Public Health. Rong Kui Han, Master of Science in Statistics. Lily Bell Deer, PhD in Psychology, advised by Professor Camelia Hostenar. Morgan Lindsay Bostrom, Master of Public Health. Varadraj Bhatt, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering. Jinyuan Lee, Master of Science in Computer Science. Rachel Helfrich, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Kaylee Shukai, Master of Health Science in Physician Assistant Studies. Jared Stevens J., PhD in Physics, advised by Professor Manuel Calderon de la Barca Sanchez. Matt Turkey, EDD in Educational Leadership, Candel. Supreet Mann, Master of Science in Child Development. Krishan Parmar, PhD in Civil and Environmental Engineering, advised by Professor Mark Rashid. Sequoia Erasmus, Master of Science in Transportation Technology and Policy. Nicole Dodd, Master of Arts in Linguistics. Amy Skull, PhD in Political Science, advised by Professor Jeanette Money and Professor Heather McKibben. Blair Becker, Master of Arts in Education. Elizabeth Alcantara, California Teaching Credential Candidate. Caitlin Ishak, California Teaching Credential Candidate.
Supreet
Supreet
Man,
Man, Master of Science in Child Development.
and PhD in Communications.
Krishan Parmar, PhD in Civil and Environmental Engineering, advised by Professor Mark Rashid. Avas Khan, Master of Public Health. Sidney Poyd, Master of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering. Biana Zhang, Master of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering. Fatima Redier, Master of Science in Computer Science. Kelsey Lieberger, PhD in Population Biology, advised by Professor Thomas Schoner and Professor Sebastian Schreiber. Krishan Parmar, PhD in Civil and Environmental Engineering, advised by Professor Mark Rashid. Imbi Abath, Master of Science in Energy Systems. Yang Ming Wen, Master of Science in Computer Science. Sean Ezenwugo, Master of Public Health. James Donate, Master of Public Health. Monica Quesada, Master of Science in International Agricultural Development. Carla Rodriguez Beltran, Master of Arts in Sociology. Karen Walker, Master of Health Science in Physician Assistant Studies. Christina Puente, Master of Arts in Education. Avas Khan, Master of Public Health. Cynthia Pantoja Colasso, Master of Arts in Education. Sydney Poyd, Master of Science in Civil and Environmental Engineering. Tao Wang, Master of Science in Computer Science. Michaela Elder, Master of Science in Environmental Policy and Management. Ebony Lewis, EDD, in Educational Leadership, Candel, advised by Professor Michael Kurlander. Shuotang Wang, Master of Science in Electrical and Computer Engineering. Xiao Tian Zhou, Master of Science in Computer Science. Puya Fatuhi, PhD in Electrical and Computer Engineering, advised by Professor Jason Low Power and Professor S.J. Ben Yu. Fred Liu, Master of Science in Computer Science. Jade Noguera, Master of Science in Forensic Science. Yunan Ho, Master of Science in Biostatistics. Scott Creasy, Master of Science in Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. Ivan Wangso, Master of Science in Biological Systems Engineering. Karen Walker, Master of Health Science in Physician Assistant Studies.
Cheng Ling, Masters of Environmental Engineering and Environmental Engineering.
Thank you to all of those who have joined us today for this wondrous occasion.
James Barnes, EDD, in Educational Leadership, Candel.
Thank you to all of those who have joined us today for this wondrous occasion.